Hello ladies, and welcome back to my channel. If you are new around here, my name is Nikki and I am a fourth year homeschooling mom. We are wrapping up our fourth year. I am a mama to 5 boys, 8 years old and under, and life is crazy around here and I love to share all that with you guys. In today's video, we are chatting all about homeschool co-ops. Should we not? What do we think? Grab something to drink, some coffee, tea, maybe a laundry basket that needs to be folded, some dishes that need to be washed, and let's chat. Homeschool co-ops. I feel like they can be controversial. You either love them or you hate them, or you have no idea what they are. So, if you don't know what a homeschool co-op is, homeschool cooperative is the formal long name of it. We call them co-ops, homeschool co-ops. So what is a homeschool co-op? It essentially is a group of homeschool families who have come together to learn together. They have similar goals they are wanting to achieve with their children, to let their children socialize, and to have a community together. Why do families do this? For all of those reasons. To have an added layer to your homeschool, to have additional classes, to have a way for your children to make friends. So that is the general gist of what a homeschool co-op is. With that being said, I think on the surface it sounds great. But I know many families who don't love co-ops or who are just like, no, we don't need that. And that's fine. But in this video, I'm going to kind of give a rundown of the pros and the cons of each. Disclaimer, we are a part of a homeschool co-op. As if you have watched any of my videos, I have talked about it here and there, and Monday's video, I shared a day in the life of us going to our co-op. We love our co-op, so my point of view is definitely a little biased in the pro side. However, I am going to offer some cons, and those are things that other families have told me about why they are not a part of a co-op and why they don't enjoy it, or it doesn't work for them. So I am going to share those because those might be applicable to you. All right, so first we're going to start with the pros. Why should you join a homeschool co-op? One, first and foremost, it is a day out of your house. You get to leave the house. And for ours is smack dab in the middle of the week. And so for us, it really breaks up our week. And it helps us to get out. It is a day that we look forward to every week, and it really helps during those long winter months that seem like they will never end. We know we at least have co-op to look forward to every week in the middle of our week. So it definitely helps to break it up. And whatever day of the week your co-op falls on, it's a day out of your house. And I think sometimes if you are an introvert or an introverted homeschooler, it is easy to stay home. And hi, that's me. I am definitely an introvert, and during the winter, it is so easy for me to just stay home. That's it. It's a day out. You get to leave your house and your kids get to go somewhere and you get to look forward to that day. 2, they offer other classes that you may not be able to do at home. So they offer enrichment classes, other academic classes that you may not feel comfortable teaching at home, particularly when you get into like middle and high school. Like for instance, our co-op offers a high-level writing class, and that's wonderful, especially for parents who don't feel comfortable teaching those higher level skills. There are other parents like me who enjoy teaching writing. or who have degrees in certain areas that they feel even more comfortable teaching in, like biology, chemistry, higher level math, writing, things like that. And so while I may not feel comfortable teaching physics, for example, there is another lovely mom at our co-op who does teach physics. And so that is a really good example of other classes that your kids can take in a small group of other kids. So outside of just the extra enrichment and elective classes like gym, art, we have done like Lego STEM classes, all of the extra things. Some co-ops offer music, sign language, things like that. They also offer the extras like history, geography, science, where especially when you're in your elementary years, you don't need this entire giant curriculum. That's something that they can get at co-op. And while we do, add in a little bit of history, we add in a little bit of science and geography here and there, at this point, I don't need to have a full-blown curriculum because they're getting so much from their classes that they are taking at co-op. Another pro is that it's parent-led. You're still, as the parent, you are still able to have a role in your child's education. You're not just, giving it away to someone else. And at a co-op, you generally all have aligning views and beliefs and the way that you want your children to be educated. The parents who are there, they want to be there. They are also choosing to homeschool their kids. So I feel comfortable letting my child be in a small group being taught by another parent. I love that our co-op is parent-led. Now, that being said, that is not always the case. There are other co-ops that are not parent-led where they have outside teachers teaching those classes. So just be aware that not every co-op is parent-led. But as a safe measure, most of them are. And finally, what would be my kids' number one reason of why they love co-op, and probably to kids in general, is the biggest pro. They get to hang out with their friends. They get to see their friends. They get to play with their friends. They get to meet new people. And me as a mom, I also look forward to that day for the exact same reason. I get to see my friends. I have met wonderful, amazing other homeschool moms who I have connected with and become really good friends with, and it is only because of our co-op that I have had that opportunity. It is the one place where I feel like, we as homeschoolers we generally live on the edge of society. We are not like the rest. We are not like most. And co-op is the one place where you are surrounded by your people. Like, these are your people. These are the people who get it. You can talk to about your curriculum, what you're struggling with, what your kids are struggling with. Are you struggling with that too? What are your wins? What are the things that you love about your homeschool journey, and just all of the things that not everybody gets? These are your people who get it. And my kids have made wonderful friendships there. Most of their friends have come from our co-op. And again, that is definitely their number one reason why they love going to co-op. And if you need to silence Aunt Ellen about why, your kids need to be socialized, your kids are being socialized at a co-op. I can promise you. And alongside of kind of that part of it, most co-ops, they don't operate as like single grade levels, whereas like a public school, all the kids are separated by, first, second, third, fourth, and on and on. But in a co-op, similar to how you likely homeschool, they are grouped in ages. They're not, just in a class with their similar aged peers, they are generally in a little bit of a wider age range. Like for instance, this year I have taught the 3rd through 5th grade science class. So I have 9 to 11-year-olds in my class, not just one single age group. And if you have homeschooled for any length of time, you know the benefits of having your child learn in a wide age range group of kids. Now, for the cons, before I start into this, I will say these aren't my cons, because again, we are a part of a co-op. We love it, and I would recommend it every day, all day. But these are specific things that other families have told me about why they either were at a co-op and they left, or they haven't joined a co-op. And these are some of their reasons. While leaving and having an extra day outside of your house could be a good thing, like it is for me, that's not a good thing for everybody. Sometimes having an extra thing to do is just another thing that families have to get to. And some families just don't want to do that. They don't want to have another thing that they have to show up for, that they have to be on time for, another thing added to their plate. So while for us, we love having that extra day, that's not necessarily the case for every family. So if you already have a lot of things that your kids are going to or that they're involved in, a co-op may just be added stress and not enjoyable for you at all. So similarly, while I love that our co-op is parent-led, some families don't like that for 2 reasons. One, some families don't want other parents teaching their kids, and I respect that. This is why we homeschool. We get to make those choices for our children, and we get to decide what is best. So not everybody loves that another parent is going to be teaching your kid. And second, it's parent-led, which means that you have to participate. The co-op is run solely on the volunteer efforts of parents, and some families do not want to do that. I have heard from several other homeschool moms that they don't want to do that. They would rather just go and drop their kid off if they were going to do something like that. They don't want to be participating in it. They don't want to have to volunteer any of their time. And again, I respect that. It's not for everybody, but just be aware that most co-ops are operated in a parent-led format. So if you are signing your kid up, you need to be prepared to be helping in some sort of way. Now, that doesn't mean that you will be teaching a class. There are a lot of parents who just assist in other classes. For instance, in my class, I lead the class, but I also have 2 assistants in my class who I'm sure they would say, I don't want to lead the class, but I would be happy to help you wrangle the kids or get the supplies out or anything like that. So I don't want to discourage you just because it is parent-led. I don't want to discourage you from joining a co-op because you're like, I don't want to teach a class. That's not something I'm interested in. That doesn't mean that you will be teaching a class. There's a small percentage that teach the classes, but then everybody else is helping in some sort of way, whether they're assisting in a class, helping with setup, helping with cleanup, things of that nature. It's not always leading a class of kids. Another con that I have heard from other families is that the co-ops that they know of or that are around them don't offer enough academic classes. I have heard this from both parents who have elementary age kids and parents who have middle and high schoolers. Some of the elementary parents, they want the co-op classes to be a little bit more challenging, to have a little bit more work involved. And same thing for, middle and high school students. We know a family who they left their co-op when their kids reached about middle school because the co-op just didn't offer anything that was going to be beneficial for their overall education. And so to them, at that point, they don't need to go to co-op for any socialization or anything like that. If they're not gaining an educational purpose from it, for them, they're just like, why are we doing this? So those are some things that I have heard a lot. And then kind of alongside that same idea, some families don't want the added work that may come from a co-op class. They may already have enough on their plate. Their kids may already have enough going on in their own homeschool that adding a co-op class with, some could have potential extra work or projects or homework to work on throughout the week. Some families don't want to do that, and that's fine. So those are my pros and cons for joining a homeschool co-op. I receive many messages and questions about our co-op in particular, and I have nothing but wonderful things to say. We love it so much. It is a beautiful community that we have, and I'm so, so grateful for it. I know that not everyone has something like that available to them, but if you are interested in any way of joining a co-op, I strongly encourage you to do a little research and see if there's anything around you. If you were considering whether to join a co-op next year or not, now is generally the time searching for that, because most of them will be registering for the next school year within the next 3 to 4 months. If you enjoyed this video, give it a big ol' thumbs up, subscribe for more videos, and I will see you in the next one.
The world could fall